Yo, 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 we back. Extra special episode today. We have two-thirds of the Probably Wrong podcast. We have David, we have Tony. Mike's too Hollywood for me, so he couldn't come in today. No, I'm joking. But what's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. What's up, Tony?
Doing well on this opening day.
It is opening day. Should be a holiday.
Yeah, it should be a holiday.
Should be a
This
holiday.
Yeah,
in the
right.
this in the day after the Super Bowl. They should both be holidays.
Yeah, I think that's why they're gonna try and add that extra week going to
I heard
President's
that.
Day. So you get the
I
holiday
heard that.
after the Super Bowl. I don't know. I do think there's a such thing as too much football.
Yeah,
Like that's the thing that makes football great to me. Not having
right.
to of it.
Yeah, they don't need to keep adding games. I mean, if you want to push it off another week just so we get that Monday, that's one thing. But to keep adding games just to get to that week seems like a little bit much.
Yeah, players gonna be resting. They'll be resting players. Watch. They're gonna be low management in NFL.
Right.
Oh
But
man.
if they make money doing it, by adding an extra game, they're gonna do it. Of
Yeah, because as much as they
Of
complain
course.
about the extra game they added a couple years ago, they agreed to it. And money had
Yes,
everything.
yes, absolutely.
So as long as they can, like you said, as long as they can get paid, they're gonna keep trying to line them
Right.
pockets, line those pockets. But we have you guys on. I do want to talk a little bit how you guys got your start with your podcast. What made you guys want to start a podcast? I know with me, it was basically I would talk shit with my friends all the time. My girl was like, "You should just record it."
Yeah.
I was like, y'all have these conversations for however long and go back and forth. You put it on wax. What started it for you guys?
So yeah, initially it started with arguments between me and Mike at the gym all the time. We would disagree on pretty much everything. Um, and we never really talked about doing a podcast. But I remember the Celtics, this was the year that they lost in the finals to Golden State. During that playoff run, after every game, I would go on Facebook Live, and then a bunch of my buddies would kind of chime in, and we'd be talking Celtics. Mike Snellgrove was one of the guys as well. So during that whole playoff run, I was going live, and then after the playoffs, Mike's like, "Why don't we try this on like a Monday night or a Wednesday night and give it a shot, see if people watch?" And then all of a sudden, people are watching. So it was me and Mike to start off, and then we added one of our friends, Justin, who him and Mike were. They just didn't gel that well together. They were just
They
battling the whole
they
time.
still they still battle.
They still battle, but at least it's not on air together. Oh man, it was
Yeah.
like brother and sister. I don't know which one was the guy, which one was the girl, but it was horrible.
Yeah, I'm about to go to the
So
archive, pull those up.
yeah, it was bad. So initially it was me and Mike, and then it was me, Mike, and Justin, and then Dave joined us. And then about a few months after Dave joined us, Mike kicked Justin off the show. So that was it.
Yeah, I just had the big three.
Yes, the big three.
Big three. I know, David, you was telling me before we started recording, you came in bringing more of the hockey aspect to it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
I'm pretty good with football. Baseball is something that, I when I was younger I loved it. I'm trying to get back into it now. Red Sox are something to be excited about this year, so I'm trying.
I ain't
But
mad at I ain't mad at that. Well, how you feel about baseball is honestly how I feel about hockey. I'm trying. I think I got to go to a live game though. Like everyone I've talked to recently that said that they love hockey and got introduced to it older. They went to a live game. Like they didn't. It wasn't watching it on TV what made them get into it. So
so
I
I
have to.
recommend definitely go to a live game, but if you can get to like a rivalry game,
Mm.
that's that's where you're going to see the best hockey, especially later in the season, getting close to the playoffs. I mean, if these two teams hate each other, it just makes it more fun to watch.
What's the best rivalry in hockey?
I mean, me growing up here, it's always been Boston, Montreal, but
Mm.
there's some. I mean, recent years, Boston, Florida's been a big one. Um, It depends on what area you're from. The Rangers have their rivalries with different teams. Toronto Maple Leafs have some rivalries. Uh,
My,
it just depends on where you're from. For me, it's Canadians, Bruins, but the Canadians have sucked for the last few years. So
it's hard to have a rivalry when the other team ain't holding up their end.
yeah.
But
Well,
I'm
now
down
the
in
Bruins suck. So
Orlando. I can
what's
catch
that?
down in Orlando. We have like the Bright Line train. I might be able to catch the train down there and catch a Bruins Florida game. You know, I claim either it depends on who's winning at the time. So I'm with the Lightning or the Panthers. Like that's how I feel when it comes to hockey.
Yep. And those two teams have a pretty good rivalry going right now because they're both going to be in the playoffs. They're both really good teams this year. So if you can catch a Tampa Florida game, that would be an awesome game to see.
That's even better. Tampa's closer. Tampa's closer. Cool, cool. Tony, Red Sox up right now?
Red Sox are tied up at 2 in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Bottom of the eighth inning. How do you feel about the Red Sox going into the season?
Well, can I speak on the hockey thing first?
Yeah, go ahead. Do your thing. My bad. My bad.
I've been to a few hockey games, and I
Okay.
still can't watch it on TV. I get what people are saying when you go there. There's excitement in the arena, but it doesn't carry over. I'll never be a hockey fan, and part of the problem with hockey is I love the NBA. I'm going to watch the NBA over hockey. March Madness is on. I'd rather watch that over hockey. All of a sudden, we have baseball on. There's just too many things going on. And if you're not a hockey fan, if you're not a diehard, it's just not going to happen because I've been trying to make it happen for years. And for me personally, it hasn't happened. So I don't see it changing for you as either.
I, I can feel that because you only got so much time and bandwidth to.
Right.
I love sports, but sometimes I
Yep.
want to put a movie on.
Right.
Like, sometimes I gotta put a show on. So I feel that. And I think that might have been one of the things that's made it harder in the past. They just got this good ESPN contract. It was hard to find on TV too for like what up until what 2, 3 years ago. So that made
Yeah,
it
for a
tough.
long time.
So now you got to fit in now. You got to figure
Right.
out placing this. And like you said, right now, this is the close to the end of the NBA season. The Celtics pretty much know where they're gonna be, but the rest of the team still trying to figure out their positioning. Like you said, March Madness, one of the most exciting times of the year. But hockey, hey, y'all got Ovechkin. He's about to break Wayne Gretzky record. I guess that's big news.
Yep.
Um, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe highlight stars, man.
It's being promoted a lot better than some of these other sports. They're trying to grow hockey, which that Four Nations thing was huge for them.
true.
But they're definitely still number four on the top four sports.
Well, if hockey wants to catch up, continue to have the Four Nations anytime there's NBA All-Star weekend, and you will gain ground every
Yeah,
year.
right.
Every year you will gain ground. You give a competitive sport against people out here playing around because that's all they're doing. You're gonna gain ground.
Yeah, I can't watch all-star games in general. At least the hockey, those games meant something to those players, so they all played hard. It was a great tournament to watch. So hopefully they continue to grow it. Um, they'll never overtake, the NBA or football, but baseball's doing a terrible job of marketing, the stars that they have.
They
So
yeah, Rob Manfred, worst commissioner in sports. Um Terrell, you got two teams playing in minor league stadiums this year. So
Yeah.
lets you know how bad MLB is going. And they just
You have you have one of the greatest athletes, if not the greatest athlete of all time, in Shohei Ohtani, and kids in 5th grade don't even know who he is.
this is
And,
true. And
and
this is true. You know where I think baseball dropped the ball? No pun intended. And it's affecting them, and it's probably going to affect them for the rest of the time they're a league, which they'll be forever. Was COVID. They
yeah, they had it by themselves
they
because nope. Go ahead.
nothing. No, you're about to say what I'm saying. Nothing else is going on.
Yeah,
You actually play a sport where everyone is spread out,
right.
and I can actually, because I work overnight normally. I'm actually up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and seeing it work in Korea.
Right.
So it looks terrible on you guys because you can't even say you can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm watching you guys do it and think about how many eyes and think about the young eyes. Think about the 6, 7 year olds that are now 12, 13. And that's how you grow.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
We already here. You got to get the kids. You got to get the
Right.
kids to keep it going
Right.
generation. I think that's where they dropped the ball the most over the last
Right.
5 years. So
Yeah. It was the KBO, right? It was the KBO.
yeah, and that's terrible fucking strike zone. Oh
Yeah.
my
It was a terrible product, but it was sports, and we
God.
wanted to watch it.
And it showed you that you guys can play. You
Right.
know,
Right. Right.
players wanted more money. The league just couldn't figure it out. I don't know. Then you gave us
Yeah.
a game sprint. Wait, I don't know. And I'm as a baseball fan, I feel like they should never go less than 162 games. I feel like that's part of the sport, the war of attrition.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Being
that
able to
that's
last.
kind of their thing.
Yeah, I feel being able to last, that says something.
Yeah.
Or getting hot at the right time, like most of the teams have been until, the Dodgers kind of like, yeah, we're gonna just start smacking shit. But
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
but if you look at like the Phillies when they got hot, or even the Mets last year getting hot, you know,
Yep.
hey, you get that with 162 games. 100 game season, you don't get that,
Right.
or
Right.
just being
Yeah.
dominant for 162. That's
The
saying
thing that's disappointed me the most about baseball is the pitching. I've always been big on pitching, and when I was younger, the guys were they go out there and throw 8, 9 innings, and you don't get that anymore. I mean, today the Red Sox pulled Crochet after 5. I get it; he was approaching 90 pitches, but they wanna save him, whatever. But I mean, this is the guy that's supposed to be this outstanding ace, and
I
you don't get to see him
I
for more than
was
5 innings.
I was actually having this conversation with my dad earlier, and I feel that I get that because I look back at like Greg Maddux having like 33 decisions in a season. I mean, you're
Yeah.
pitching deep into the game, but pitchers weren't throwing this hard.
No. It's all out on every single pitch,
Yeah, like
and
go ahead. I'm sorry, Tony.
and I think that's the difference. Pedro probably could have ramped it up to 98, 99, but he didn't. He kept it at 95, 96. These
Yeah,
guys, they're going max velocity on every single pitch, and I think we're seeing what's happening over time. Their arm can't withstand it, especially now with the 20-second or 18-second time frame in between where they got to speed it up. I remember watching David Price. He'd throw a pitch at 96 miles an hour. He'd walk around the mound for about a minute and a half. He'd gear it right back up to throw 96. Those days are over. So these guys have to ramp it up quick. So I get what Dave's saying. It's frustrating, but it's a different game, and these guys are throwing all out on every pitch. And I remember Pedro in the All-Star game, the 1999 All-Star game, was throwing 98, 99 miles an hour. His first start against Minnesota, right after that, he got hurt. He got pulled in the fourth inning. So
oh, wow.
I think that's what these guys are doing. They're just going all out on every pitch. And the organizations, they got to. I mean, these are their big assets. They're paying them 20, $30 million a year. They're trying to protect them and trying to elongate their career, or at least have them pitch for the majority of their contract.
Yeah, as a
Yeah, I get it. I just don't like it.
Yeah, yeah, true. Yeah,
yeah, it's I think I think some of it is that trying to, make sure they can pitch the life of their contract. I do think some of it they pitch harder, but some of it is bullshit analytics.
oh,
You know,
100%,
like
100%.
is the other side of the coin, and I feel like now we as fans who have paid attention, we've kind of built in the injury excuse so they can hide behind that too. But that analytics, man, the clipboard, I
Yep.
I think about, like I say, as a Yankees fan, Garrett Cole should have still been pitching in game one. He shouldn't have got
Yeah.
pulled so early. That changed the whole game. But Analytics tell you you get to a certain number of pitches.
Yep.
That becomes a mental block, I feel like, in some of these players because now they
Right.
know that this is all you have. You know what I'm saying? So think about it was a time there wasn't a pitch count.
Oh, no, Nolan Ryan used to throw 140 pitches a
It
game.
was a time it was not a pitch count. And it's
Yeah.
the pitcher didn't get wildly ineffective.
Right.
The velocity might have went down, but it ain't
They
like he,
knew they knew how to manage.
yeah,
They knew, they weren't just going to go out and throw gas. They knew how to manage. And I mean, Greg Maddox was what they call him, the professor.
yeah,
He just he knew when to change up his pitches to so he's not trying to throw. And not that he threw that hard anyways, but he just threw smart.
yeah. What you call them? Junk pitches? That's what my dad called it earlier. You got a junk pitch, something to get you across the plate, save your arm a little bit.
Yeah.
None of that. Ah, yeah, that a lot of swings and misses, but I think that goes to the pitching too. A lot of hard throwers. Everybody got a few 95 and up guys in their
Oh,
bullpen.
absolutely. Yeah.
That's another thing that's changed. I it makes me angry because I want to see more players with a higher average, but it's got to be harder than ever. Like it has to be harder than ever. Um,
Right.
I think I've committed blasphemy this week. I predicted the Red Sox to win the NL East. I had to be real with myself. Rafael Del.
Well, probably the AL East, right? Not the NL
Oh,
East.
yeah. The AL East. My bad.
yeah,
My bad. AL
yeah.
East. Um,
I,
how you feel about that?
I think the Garrett Cole injury is huge. The Louis Heel injury, I think they would have overcome. He's coming back in 3 months. But losing Garrett Cole, that's a tough one. And I'm one of the people that I don't think any team in the American League is all that good. I don't think the Astros are that good. I think the Yankees were good up until the Garrett Cole injury. I don't think anyone in the Central is all that good. So I think Red Sox and Texas might be the two of the better teams in the American League to go along with the Yankees. And yeah, I can see them winning 92 games and maybe taking the AL East.
I
But
do.
the one thing is that the Yankees are willing to make moves, and where they know they've lost Garrett Cole for the entire year, they'll make moves to try to get a starting pitcher to fill in. I mean, they're always willing to look around. So I think the Red Sox are going to win the AL East at like looking at it right now, but things change.
I love other people's optimism about the Yankees making these trades. And because you're the second person I've heard say this, we have the number 27 farm system in baseball. It's not a lot of prospects to send. You know, our lineup is good, but we wouldn't want to give up anything, for a pitcher because that'll just change our whole lineup and hurt that. I don't
Right.
really
The
see it.
the two
I don't really see it
the
happening for the Yankees to make trades.
yeah, the two prospects that people want, it's Spencer Jones and Jason Dominguez. And I don't think the Yankees are going to trade either one of them. Sandy Alcantara would be a good fit on that Yankees team, but you'd have to give up one, maybe both of those guys. And I don't think the Yankees want to do it.
That's
So,
that's what I'm saying. We don't have enough. Like that'll leave the
yeah,
court bare, and you can't really do that. Unless you know
right.
you're going to win. And I don't think Sandy gets us a chip.
No, I mean, he missed all of last year. We'll see how he looked pretty good today. But then you trade for him, you still have to sign him for big bucks. So I don't know if they want to give up one of those prize guys. I know Spencer Jones is the one that everyone's talking about. He's Dave, if you don't know, he's a 6'5", 6'6" outfielder. Kind of looks like Aaron Judge. Good athlete, left-handed power, I think.
Yeah, like
And I don't think they want to. That's a team. That's the player everyone wants, and I don't think they want to get rid of him. But you know what? I don't think I'd get rid of him either.
especially if that's all you got.
Yeah, yeah.
Abreu just hit his second home run.
Who?
What we got?
Oh, a Brady?
Yeah. They
Oh,
said he
Oh,
was
wow.
he lost like 20 pounds because of this illness and he might struggle this year.
that cool.
He's lost a ton of weight and everything.
You got to be
Yeah,
Just to,
careful with that opening day juice, though. It's something about opening day. People gonna ball out. Let's wait till
yeah,
May, June. This is odd. People have their best days opening day.
right, right. I think it's more important for a team like the Red Sox that have been terrible over the last few years to get off to a good start. A team like the Yankees, I don't think it matters as much. They've been there, but a team like the Red Sox with a lot of younger guys that hasn't been that good. I think this is. I don't think they want to fall behind. I don't think they want to be 10-15 after 25 games. I think they need to get off to a good start to kind of run with it.
I agree. Do you think Rafael Devers was just bullshitting with the media the whole time? He knew he was gonna move. Cause like he just randomly the day before opening day, yeah, I'm a DH.
Yeah, I what we were hearing up here is that he wasn't happy about it. I
Oh,
think they told him in the offseason that they weren't going to sign a third baseman, that they weren't going to sign either Bregman or Arenado. So he feels like he was lied to, which I don't blame him for that. And then on the radio stations up here, he had a translator, and the people that spoke Spanish were calling into the radio stations, and they said, you know what? Raphael didn't really say it like that. The translator didn't do a good job translating for Rafael Devers. And then we found out later that his translator actually worked for the Boston Red Sox and not for Rafael Devers. So that's a little shady. They had him translating for Devers, and the people that spoke Spanish are like, he didn't really say it like that. So there's a little bit of question. I think he's a little butthurt. But at the end of the day, you need to get in better shape. You came in out of shape. You're horrible defensively. What do you expect? At some point, they're either going to have to move you to first or you're going to have to DH. That's just the way it's going to be. And
gotta be
he's not
real
doing
with
himself
yourself.
any favors by coming in about 20 pounds overweight.
Gotta be real with yourself.
You know,
And he's probably the worst defensive third baseman in baseball.
easily. Easily.
Hey, you're supposed to be willing to win. Uh, it hurts me though. I think that move helps y'all so much though. Like if he's really on
Oh,
board,
100%.
all he has to do is hit, and he's already one of the best hitters in baseball. Y'all actually
Yep.
cut down the errors. That alone is gonna help. You cut down
Right.
errors, cut down pitches on the pitcher, cut down runs. That wins games. That wins you
Right.
3 games throughout the season. And that's all the difference, especially when it's gonna be a tight AL East.
Yep.
Um, let's see, let's see. Let's move. Let's talk Celtics real quick. Let's talk Celtics, and then we'll end off with the Patriots.
Sounds good.
All right. So Celtics is second place, pretty much locked in, right? I don't think they're in like that spot where they're not going to catch Cleveland. No one behind you going to catch them.
Right.
You think you guys should rest Jason Tatum?
Uh, I don't know about rest. Maybe let that ankle heal and then kind of manage his or do the load management. My worry about resting people too much is I feel like Jason Tatum's been playing very good basketball. He's in the flow of the game. And we've seen it with Porzingis, which is kind of rare. He'll miss 30 days. He'll come in and look like he hasn't missed a beat. Other players, if they miss 3 or 4 games, now they got to kind of work their way into rhythm, which I get nervous about. I get nervous about. Not with Porzingis, because he already showed that he can come in after a month off and it doesn't really matter. But I'd like to make sure that ankle is healed and then just kind of sit Tatum one game, a few games later, sit Jalen Brown and make sure they're well rested because they did have a deep run last year, especially with Tatum and Derek White and Drew Holiday playing in the Olympics as well. You want to make sure you have plenty of gas come the third round and hopefully the finals.
I feel like Porzingis is the only one on that team that really needs the load management, and you want him healthy for the playoffs. The rest of these guys, I think, just need to keep playing the way they're playing. And I said it at the beginning of the year. This is the best team in the league. They will probably repeat as champions. They have, if Porzingis is healthy, probably the best roster going into a playoff series. I know there's a few teams they struggle with, but once it gets into the playoff time, I just think they're gonna dominate these teams. So that's what I think of the Celtics.
No fear from Cleveland. No
Oh,
issue.
I got fear in Cleveland.
A
Yeah,
little bit.
I think Donovan Mitchell went on fire. He can single handedly win you games. So yeah, and Cleveland is very big and very long, and they present problems. Especially trading for DeAndre Hunter, they present problems. They're going to be a tough out. I don't think either of the first two rounds are going to present much of an issue. But once you get to Cleveland, I think this year you're going to need Porzingis, and I think it'll be a battle. I don't think it's going to be four
Oh, it's
games to
not going to
one. I
be an
think it's
easy
going to go.
series, but I mean, at least it is the conference finals before you have to play them, and who knows what happens by then, you know? And it's a young team. Cleveland, I mean, they could get bounced in the first or second round, and then you're looking at now you're the top seed. So
I don't know.
it'll be interesting.
I think Cleveland be okay. The East, after you two guys,
Yeah,
I don't. Is it is Boston and Cleveland, and then it's everybody else. Like if
yeah,
Cleveland
it's a bunch
does
of
what they
trash.
do, and Cleveland, they're okay. I think last year helped them be prepared for this year. And like you said, DeAndre Hunter, that's one of those moves. Everybody pays attention to the all-stars that get moved and the 20-point a night guys that get moved. What DeAndre Hunter can do, give you 15 to 17 a night, and he's going to be the guy probably guarding Jason Tatum. That is invaluable. Um,
Right.
but unfortunately, I agree with you guys. I think Boston will end up as a Lakers fan. See, you guys got me just blasphemy out here on the podcast now, but I got you guys in the finals as well. Uh let's talk Patriots real quick. Talk a little Patriots. I know you guys did not want a diva wide receiver, but here comes Stephon Diggs. Maybe the biggest diva in the league if you think about the him crying and actually being the most targeted guy in the league. At least the guys who cry, they
Right.
don't all thrown to him sometimes.
Right.
Do you
I
think
just
he will adopt the Patriot way?
I feel like
No,
he had to buy in somehow, some way for them to give him the contract they gave him. Plus, he's usually pretty good the first year or so before he breaks down and starts turning everyone against him. So I think this could work out. He's also, 32 years old and there's not much left. Not many teams were calling. Um, if he starts bitching, I think Vrabel's the type of guy that'll just tell him to go home.
Also true. Also true. Tony, you don't feel he's gonna buy in. Clearly.
well, I don't think there really is a Patriot way anymore. I mean, we won 8 games in our last 2 years, so I think that Patriot way left when Brady left, or at the very least when Belichick left. I think he'll be fine here because he's going to be targeted quite a bit because we really don't have any other offensive weapons. Um, we have a hard time getting wide receivers here, so you're going to have to take a chance on somebody. This is who they took. We wanted a wide receiver. We wanted a number one wide receiver. We got one. Do we like him? We will learn to love him if he catches 80, 90 balls this year. Was that our ideal guy? I don't think so, but it's it's hard for us to get wide receivers to come here. So this is the guy that we got. I still think we need to get another guy to go along with him. And I think it puts us in a position to maybe win 7, 8, 9 games. If things go really well, maybe 10 this season. So I'm kind of happy with the move.
I, it doesn't hurt. I thought you guys were gonna go get Cooper Cup. Um,
I wanted Cooper Cup.
I thought that was
Yeah, that's a guy that I think we all wanted.
yeah, I think somebody who might not be too demonstrative on a young quarterback. You gotta be careful.
Right.
You don't want Stephon Diggs messing up his reads because he's worried that Stephon Diggs is gonna scream at him on the sidelines.
Right.
He doesn't throw to him in his progression. Um, I do wonder what this like how this is going to affect you guys in the draft, if at all? You think it's going to change anything draft wise for you guys?
I think if they pick up another wide receiver, then it looks like we're going probably Will Anderson at 4.
That's not
Yeah,
bad.
I feel offensive line is what they're going to go with.
Okay. Yeah. Got to protect them. Got to protect your asset.
No,
Yeah.
Hopefully it works out. You compare them together for the next 10, 12 years. I
that's the
saw,
goal. We'll see.
I saw something though, and I wonder if this makes you guys in kind of weary. Drake May and why did his name just leave me? What was the rookie y'all drafted after Cam Newton? Oh my gosh.
Mac Jones?
Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Really similar numbers rookie year.
Yeah.
Definitely a different, totally different look. I mean, when you watch them play, it's a completely different person. Um, I don't see Drake May having a second year like Mac Jones did. Um, I just two totally different players. And Mac Jones has a noodle arm, and Drake May is, pretty strong kid. He's got the big frame on him too, 6'4". I mean, just a completely different look. And I don't see him having a second year like Mac Jones did. I don't know if it's possible. I mean, obviously anything's possible, but I don't think this kid has it in him. And now he's got a coaching staff around him that is, I mean, worlds better than what they had last year.
True.
So
That alone probably will make him a better player. But what you think about that, Tony? You got any fear of Mac Jones?
No, I think I never liked Mac Jones. He's just very immobile. He doesn't have a very good arm, kind of like a little brat. I didn't really like him. Even when he got off to a good start, I just didn't see how, with his arm strength, he had to be so precise with every single pass because he just couldn't put any gas behind it. So I just never really liked him to begin with. And I mean, his decline went pretty quickly. I
That
didn't
was
think he would.
that.
It was terrible. He fell off like really fast. He might be out of the league in about 1 or 2 years. But I look at Drake May, and he looks like he processes information better. He's got a stronger arm. He's mobile. He's tougher. He loves football. Matt Jones was up here whining the whole time, complaining about coaches. You just don't see that from Drake May. So I think it's just a different mindset, a different type of athlete. And I don't know if Drake May is going to be great. I think he has a chance to be great, but at the very least, he's not going to be Mac Jones.
Well, that's a plus for you guys.
No,
And
absolutely.
I love the realistic nature of you guys. You know, hey man, we get 7, 8 wins, we're going in the right direction. You hear
I'll take that.
some fan bases the Super Bowl every year. I'm a Panthers fan, so trust me, I'm around that 7, 8 win mark myself. If we get there, we've had a
Yeah,
success. I wanted five
right.
that's
last
that's a
year.
tough one.
We had five last. I wanted five last year. We got five. We need to get a receiver in the draft. Let's get up to 8. Let's build. Because that's the one thing about football, and I think that's what is so captivating about it. It's not easy to win in the sport.
Right.
But like no one likes to play the video game that you win easily. Like it gets boring real fast. So I think that's one of the things that keeps football is king in America at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think once you get to that 7, 8, 9 win area, now you can bring on better free agents because those free agents are thinking, I'm going to come in and I'm going to take them from 9 to 12. It's very, very difficult to go from 4 wins to 12 wins. So you almost have to have that pit stop in the middle. And now you're going to get a few extra guys that want to come your way.
Yeah. And depending on how you do it, right? Like you guys will have Drake May. He still have a rookie contract. So
Yeah.
y'all can overspend for somebody.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
outbid certain teams. The Panthers, like right now, like if we win 7, 8 games next year, we still have that 4th year of Bryce Young's contract. All right, let's pay somebody. Let's give them an
Right.
extra million, $2, $3 million or whatever. And the way the salary cap go up every year,
Right.
it's so That's what I'm hopeful for. So hopefully
Yeah.
your free agency, we ball out a little bit. Spend some money, man. Spend some
Yeah,
money.
I mean, Bryce Young was a guy that he started off so bad, and then they benched him, and then when he came back, it was like a different person. He played so much better the second half of the year. Actually makes you kind of feel a little bit upbeat going into this season.
Yeah, for sure. And what that showed me more than anything that he was mentally tough. They gotta suck. Being so bad and CJ Stroud's balling out. You gotta
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
that. Like you got it. Like it's impossible not to see this. And I'm sure you got to question yourself a little bit. Like I just got benched Andy Dalton out here, but he stayed right under Andy Dalton. They said he was still doing everything he needed to do study wise, and look how he came back just that much better. I'm down for anybody with the mental toughness first. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because
Yep.
everybody's physically tough in the NFL. You don't get that far without being physically tough, but at some point the mental got to kick in. So shout out to Bryce Young for that, man. Shout out to Bryce Young for
Oh, absolutely.
that. Where can what time and where all can people find Probably Wrong podcast?
We're live on Facebook every Wednesday at 6 p.m. We also have Mike yells at us about this every week. We have a YouTube channel, Probably Wrong Podcast, which Dave and I never watch. And we also have an Instagram, the Probably Wrong Podcast Instagram. So you can follow us. And I believe we're on Spotify as well.
Spotify and Apple iTunes.
I know you guys are on Spotify and YouTube. Okay, so Facebook Live. So I can't do it. See, I needed y'all to give me everything. I didn't know the other places. But okay, Facebook Live, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Instagram. It's all Probably Wrong. It's constantly posting, at least on the Instagram. I got you guys on the Instagram. Constantly
All right.
posting. So you're gonna, hey, fill your news feed up with some good sports, good content, good conversation. Wait, what day do you guys go live on Facebook again? I'm sorry.
Wednesday.
Wednesday night at 6 p.m.
Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Check out the Facebook. Then you can comment live, talk a little shit with them. Tell them that
Always.
they're probably wrong.
Yeah.
How did you guys come up with the name Probably Wrong though, real quick?
Because most of our takes aren't accurate. So Probably Wrong felt like it was appropriate for us.
Felt like the way to go. Yeah.
But you want to know what's crazy, and I don't know if this is for you. But do you feel like more people tell you you're right than you're wrong?
I feel like when it comes to sports, I don't talk about things that I don't watch and know nothing about. That's why when they do the Bruins, I just leave the room because I have nothing to offer. But I feel like when I talk about sports, I feel like I'm more on than most people, especially when I hear sports talk, and I feel like they're off all the time. So I don't feel like we're probably wrong, but you know what? You try to pretend that you're humble and you call yourself the probably wrong, and then people start liking you.
How about you, David? You feel like you're right more than you're wrong? Or
No,
people come to tell you
I
that
feel like
you're
I'm wrong all the
No, no.
time.
really?
I'll predict things just because I know the opposite's going to happen. So I'll say something like, "Oh yeah, this team's gonna dominate in the playoffs," and then they get knocked out in the first round, and I'm like, "Damn it, I was way off."
It's funny. I say that to say this. Like my mom, she always say, I need to take you to Vegas. You know what I'm saying? We'll make so much money in Vegas. Like my cousin, we talk sports all the time. He jokes. Sometimes he'd be like, "Cuss your Domish." You predicted it. I go to Vegas and I don't win shit. Okay.
Right,
So
right.
it's like I'm just gonna keep everything to myself. Clearly, when it comes to making money, is not gonna work out. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. But this is like baseball. If we bet 300, we're doing pretty damn good. We're doing
Yeah, yeah.
we're doing pretty
I'll
good
take it.
for sure. All right, man. I want to wrap up with you guys, man. I appreciate having you guys on. I really do. I'm gonna continue to follow what y'all guys got going on, watching y'all. Man, one day I'm gonna have to come on, talk a little shit with Probably Wrong. Maybe Mike will be
Let's
on
do it.
Hollywood for me.
Yeah.
sounds good.
All right.
All
Anything?
right. Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us on.
All right, man. You be good.
All
All
right, you
right. You
too.
too.